Hello friends, Techman Pat here. Today we're going to be checking out the CZUR scanner. It is tech to bring back the analog paper into the digital world, and we're going to be reviewing it today, and you're going to get a full overview of how it works. It's pretty darn exciting. I in fact have a Harry Potter book as an example, and some of my drawings from years ago that I've never had the chance to actually scan and digitize and combine, and that'll make a lot of sense in a moment. So let's see what's inside the box of this CZUR scanner. Well, the first question you might have is, how is this different than a normal scanner? Well, a normal scanner is either a flatbed that you can put a piece of paper on and scan, hence you might want to scan 1 or 2 pages. There's also the ones that ingest the paper, which is unbound. But this one here looks like a lamp, and you can literally hold a book underneath it and scan pages really quickly. So let's quickly unbox it and see what it actually looks like and see how it can help you with your scanning purposes. And like I mentioned, I've got some drawings I did that I want to scan in because it has some amazing features. So first of all, you can scan 2 pages every 1.5 seconds. It has an 18 megapixel camera with the resolution almost getting beyond 8K, but just around the top of it. It comes with a CD that comes with the actual drivers and the software, which is free to download, but you need a serial number to actually utilize the software, so you don't really bother downloading if you don't have the device. For those wondering, the serial is right underneath the base of the actual device. Now I'll get to that last, but I want to get through some of the first bits that it comes with. We have a remote button for you to press, basically scan or photo as you might see it, because technically it is a camera, not necessarily a scanning device. So there's a button here with an extension to a USB. We've also got our Australian power plug, pretty small, really nice. And we've got some USB cables in there too. Let's have a look at what's in there. I want to rush through this because I'm pretty excited to scanning some of these things. This is your USB to the actual device. It's basically a printer cable. I think it's called USB B or A or something like that. And it's pretty long. And we've got here another finger cots for book scanning. This is really interesting. So the software itself does a lot of smarts. And these things are there to hold on your thumbs as you hold a book down. And that means that when the scanner sees these things and have these special markings, it'll actually automatically remove this from the image that is scanned. This is pretty darn useful, especially when a book and its curvature is a bit too tight, so you have to press down to hold it flat. This is great. And this is something that makes the whole process a lot easier. It is, of course, a foot pedal, and not for music and not for racing, it's for clicking. This is really cool. I'm actually wondering if this can be utilized in a computer for like a shooting button, but that's my imagination. You also get a giant mat. This mat is specifically very dark. It's basically almost rubbery. It's got like a grippy tape, and on the top side it's very nice and clean. Non-reflective, which is the idea here, because you don't want it to reflect any light back because it might confuse the camera scanner thingy. So let's bring out the actual device. At the top, we have a little screen that will actually show you what you're looking at through the camera. We've got an on button, a camera button, so you can press it here, and you've also got a microphone button, which I'm actually not sure what it means, but it could be dictation. In any case, we'll figure it out as we go. At the top here, we've got a little laser that figures out how flat the paper is at the bottom. That means that if a book is curved, it'll flatten it out. There's some really cool technology in there. And of course, if we add the mat, we can see that every time it looks at a book, it'll only see the black around it, which is non-reflective, and it is able to cut out the page really nice and cleanly. Think about the way Photoshop uses its magic wand to select a piece of picture, or the way we use green screen. It's the similar idea. On the bottom here, we've got lights and we've got the actual camera. We've got some buttons here, camera, light, and we've got zoom in and zoom out. You can control things from here, but of course, we're going to be using potentially a button or the actual foot button right here. I think because if you're using 2 hands, you might want to use the foot button. They've kind of thought of everything. Setup was very easy with a couple of notes. First of all, make a nice clean space for yourself. Remove any obstacles, even if they are cables from the actual device. Put the space out here, well lit area, though know that it does have a light, as you can see. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. There is also an extra light that you can plug in right at the back here, and that gives you an extra light too. And it sits right around here with a little magnetic latch. There we go. And of course you can turn that on too. There's more extra light. Plug the USB into your computer, put power into it, of course, with the provided cables, and install the software on your computer. The serial for the software is on the bottom of this pad right here. And of course, one thing that I noted that it took me a while to figure out, make sure you unplug any webcams that you have plugged into your computer, because Windows seems to only recognize it like a webcam. The other thing you should also note is that if you have an ultra-wide screen, you can't resize the actual application, so that's a little bit weird. I wish I could just sort of resize it to the center so I could record it better, but when I was recording the screen, it's going to be ultra-wide. So right now I'm in something called presentation mode, and this is really cool for two things. First of all, if you're teaching somebody in a school type situation, you've got a projector up on a big screen and you're up in front of the audience, that's a perfect way to show a book and go, yep, here we go, we're reading through here. As you can see, the movement is a little bit odd. It's not supposed to be for fast movement. The frame rate is really low, but it is very high quality in regards to the resolution. The resolution, as I mentioned, is just around 8K with 18 megapixels. It's like 17 point something, but they say 18 nonetheless. So this is presentation mode. If you're doing work on YouTube where you also have to showcase something in front of you, like let's say Pokemon cards, you could use this instead of a camera that's facing downwards. This is a perfect way to demonstrate maybe a picture or maybe some detailed work that you're doing, maybe a drawing, obviously not in speed due to that low frame rate. But it can also record as a video, hence using it for video production. So you may be wondering where the actual value of this product fits. Well, it is a patented flattening curved book technology, so that's part one. Obviously, being able to see things in here isn't part of that technology, but nonetheless, it's there. It has an 18 megapixel Sony camera, that's a CMOS camera with 1.5 SP scanning speed, which is fantastic. It can do A3s and A4s, and at the same time, very large books. It has two supplementary lights, one at the top here and one over here. And the fact that it has the ability to do optical character recognition makes this a bloody killer feature, because it's free with this software and this device. You don't have to buy extra software to do so. The fact that the OCR software is obviously not free on the internet makes this device very, very valuable. And also in the software, you can then transcode your photos or your scans to any type and file format that is for images and scans. It works really, really quickly, especially based on the fact that it's just a camera on a stand and it's not a mainstream product. So I'm really impressed with the software. While there are still some bugs, I think it does the job really well. All right, let's get to scanning. This device is its bread and butter, so let's navigate a scanner, press the scan on the right-hand side button, and this is where we get a live preview. The first thing you will see is this orange rectangle around your book or the piece of paper. This is the smart image processing that allows you to basically align it as much as you can, and it'll always still know what the actual square is. And if we open the book, it will then go wide, of course. Now, because of that, let's say when we're scanning not just a single page, we're scanning two, we want to select flat facing pages just there on the right. And what you'll actually get is the ability to align the middle of the book into the center fold, and then use those little thumb things right here to basically connect and flatten this paper down a little bit. But the good thing is you don't have to worry about flattening the whole thing. The image processing allows you to not have to do it. It will work out the curvature from that center. So I'm going to press the take a photo button, boom, right under my wrist, but it'll work better if you've got a footrest. We've taken that, and now we've got two pages on the left-hand side over here. So let's finish this for now and click back. We've got our two images. As you can see, this little thing has been removed. It was a little bit on the side there onto the word, so we might have to do that again. But let's have a look at the other image that we took, which is the other page. That one's absolutely fine. If it doesn't look perfect, we can grab these dots and follow them along the line. And now let's take a look at some photos that we can scan into. So let's grab some of these drawings that I put here. this is just a flat piece of paper. So in this case, all we need is a flat single page. And we can also adjust some other settings in here, like white spaces around corners, auto page mending, and things like that. We'll turn that on because we want to make sure we capture this really nicely. So I remove that out of the way. There you go. The square is right around this image. And what I want to do is make it grayscale. I want to remove all the bluiness of the actual paper that it's on. It's kind of old paper, so we'll put it as black and white and see if that comes out nicely. So let's press the button to scan. There we go. And let's have a look at what that image looks like when it's fully processed. There you go. Pretty nice. Now it does take the black away here, which is pretty weird, but we can adjust this with some fine tuning. So in this example, we're going to take the page again, and as you can see, it is sort of not flat, but almost flat. We want to make it fairly flat. You don't have to unbind it. You can press the button here, take a photo of it, and it'll automatically resize it, align it. So let's have a look at the last picture that was taken, which was of this page. And as you can see, it's pretty much flat, which is fantastic. So then we can take it back to the settings here and we can OCR the hell out of it. So if we grab the photo that we just did, which was right here at the end, let's have a look at this one right here. Let's OCR this. So we press OCR, which basically means we're going to convert it to typable content. And let's put that into, let's just do PDF for the sake of this. And let's do the quality fine, and it is English. And we're going to click confirm. And we're going to select it as desktop. And you can do bulk settings in this anyway. It's going to initialize the engine and start doing its PDF. So let's have a look at how that came out. Oh, let's just open Microsoft Edge PDF here. And there we go. We can now select the text. How cool is that? Select it and copy it. All right, now that you've seen what it can actually do, the CZUR ET18 Pro is a fantastic tool for scanning multiple pages at once, continuously, and without too many mistakes. So in regards to the actual review of the device, there is some issues with the software. It doesn't always capture the right page. Sometimes, as you saw, it captured the page, cut it out nicely, removed my finger in fact, and sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it caught the movement of my hand. It's not exact and it's not particularly instant with its photo taking, but it is a lot faster than a manual scanner, and you do not have to unbind any book to actually do it. The quality of the camera up here is incredible for what it's actually trying to do. The intelligence of the software is also pretty good. It does manage to cut out the black and make it disappear, but as I mentioned, it's not always effective, especially if you're scanning in a black drawing. If the drawing itself isn't black, like in blue ink as you saw, perfect, it'll transfer the image into your computer and you have a beautiful scanned image that looks like almost it's been created in a digital format. It is one of the best ways to transfer what's on paper, one of your drawings or arts, into digital form. Now, on the other hand, this is limited to A3, and it's also limited to how fast you can go and scan. And the quality of it is pretty good in regards to the scans as you saw, but sometimes the details can get a little bit messy. Now, with the OCR technology here, it doesn't really matter if you're transferring a book into a PDF. That just means you get the exact font and look of it, but you can copy and paste it. So you can convert it straight to a Word document instead of just a PDF image with the text embedded, which is absolutely fantastic. But CZUR is competing on price. At 525 Australian dollars, this is a very expensive, though solidly built and feature-rich device. It is meant for very professional use. Places where we still use paper or need to transcode books into digital formats, and that is a perfect use case for it. If you're using it at home, the competition of this product is actually just your iPhone. A little trick that you might not know about is that if you go into Notes, you can select Document Scan and take a photo of a scan. It will adjust it and flatten it out too. It's useful for individual documents, but you won't be doing massive books. But the competition is there. You're not going to buy this just for 1 or 2 document scans. If you're doing a lot of art and you want to scan it and digitize it, then yes, absolutely perfect. If you're transcoding books or older books into digital formats or maybe sell your book or something like that, this is perfect. If you're at a school and you want to present and show what you are reading on the screen, great. It's better than one of those light up big things with the glass that people used to use, projectors, manual ones. In any case, this is a very interesting device. It has some really cool features and it's built really well. It comes at a price, but I would say for the professional use, this is a perfect item to get. Links below for Amazon where you can check that out and see if it's right for you. Big thanks to CZUR for sending me this device for review. Make sure you like this video if you did, subscribe if you want to support us, but I want to hear from you. Is this an at-home device at $525? Let me know in the comments below what your use case would be for a device like this. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you all in another one. Bye!